All right. Okay. Welcome everyone to this new episode of Golf on Arab podcast. Today's guest is a very special guest, one of the first Palestinians to represent Palestine on the international stage. Joseph Hassan Ismail, if we might say that correctly. Joseph was born in the US and he's representing the Palestinian flag. Currently, he's playing in college at the US and played lately in the Pan Arab Championship and the Arab Professional Championship in Morocco. Joseph, welcome to Golf and Arab Podcast. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to be here.
First of all, thank you very much for joining me on the show today. It's really interesting to hear of Palestinian golfer, and we'll get into the more details about golf and Palestine and the Arab golf in details. But let's start getting to know you, Joseph. For those, and for me, and for everyone that doesn't know you, tell us who you are, where did you born? How did you get to start playing golf? How did you get to start representing Palestine?
So I was born in Virginia, in the United States, and I started playing golf when I was 4 or 5, I want to say. My uncle bought me a couple lessons for Christmas one time. I played and it was fun. I liked it. I knew I liked it from the first lesson, and I had a really good teacher. And I didn't really keep playing. I didn't start playing tournaments that young. I want to say my first actual tournament was when I was 10 or 11, around there. And after that, I stuck with it, played in high school, and then eventually got recruited to play in college here. And that's going well. I really like it. It's very competitive. And I first started playing for Palestine when I went to the Asian Games in 2023. And it was eye-opening, the talent on that stage. And it's kind of an addicting feeling playing against people who are better than you, because it's like a race. You're always trying to keep up and get better and stay competitive. And so I wanted to keep doing it for Palestine, and that's where I'm at now, just trying to take every opportunity I can to go play to represent my family and Palestine.
That's really nice. Joseph, playing golf is a very difficult sport, as you said. Why did you choose to play golf? I believe as kids we get exposed to different sports. So why did you choose golf?
So growing up, I played everything: basketball, soccer, anything you can think of, volleyball. And I loved how competitive it was. I love competition, but in all those sports, you have teammates and you can't always control the outcome. But in golf, it's all you. You put in the work, you'll see scores improve. And I think I've always liked the individuality of it, being able to go on my own and practice and have no one but me contributes to the outcome of what happens. And I think I've always liked that. That's a little bit why. I was also just better at golf than every other sport, so I stuck with it for a while, and I've just always loved it. I fell in love at a young age, so I stuck with it.
Very well. So you said that you've been introduced to golf at the age of 4. Um, who influenced you in terms of following on your love of golf and becoming like a player and now representing Palestine and playing in Pan Arab Championships and even continental championships for the Palestine? Who's behind this?
So obviously when I was really little, 4 or 5, I didn't think much of it. I mean, golf would be on TV and I'd watch it, and I was always a massive Tiger Woods fan. Still to this day, Tiger's my favorite. But kind of internally, my dad and my uncle both kind of helped me along the way a lot, tremendously, and just making sure I was able to have every opportunity that I needed to get better. And it was never like a push, like you have to play golf. Anything that I wanted to do, they would obviously support me, but I chose golf, and I think seeing yourself get better. I tell this to a lot of like people who ask me, they're just getting into golf. Like seeing yourself get better is like such a confidence boost. Like from when I was super little, like barely holding the club, like, swing was all messed up, to now just like seeing the progress definitely keeps you motivated. And like I said, the individuality of it, like no one controls it but you, and your output will match the input, especially in golf. So I think a lot of that, just continuing to grow, kept me into it. Where a lot of people, if they don't get better immediately, they quit. They're like, I'm done. But I really enjoy the grind of it, just getting better continuously. And like I said, it's like a race. Like you have to keep getting better. The guys on tour keep getting longer. I mean, they're rolling the balls back now because of it. So you got to keep up. And if you can't keep up, then, you obviously won't compete. But I love that aspect of it.
Well, because you usually, especially in the Arab world, kids or young talent to get into sport, they are mainly either their family are involved in golf, or their parents are either working in the golf industry, or even pro golfers, let's say, so they get interested. So it's not an easy sport for Arabs to. The things are a little different in the US, though. It's if we can call it the land of golf in our age, although golf started in Scotland, but in the US, from what I understand, there is a golf course wherever you go. Technically, yes. So it would be easier, yes. Did you play golf with your friends, or how call it, close people that you get to the point that you decided, okay, this is the sport I want to play. This is what I want to shine.
Yeah, so in the US, we have a program, I think it's all over the US, called the First Tee. And I did a couple summer camps there and just kind of learn how to actually play, learn the rules, learn everything like that. And doing that kind of pushed me along. And, you kind of understand where you stack up when you play against other people your age. But when I was that young, I never really thought of it wasn't as competitive. Yeah, I was just playing because I liked it. But then I started playing PGA Junior, and I made a bunch of friends in golf through that. So I was able to play with them outside of actual practice that I had to go to, or, a class I was taking at the First Tee. So then when you start playing with family, I play with my uncle all the time, my brother. When you start playing with family and friends, I think that's what really engages you, at least for me, in wanting to continue to play.
Yeah, you mentioned something very interesting. First Tee. First Tee is a very famous program in the US, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, even the Masters is supporting this, and they have a yearly, the champions or the winners, they play the week before the Masters at Augusta. That helps, showcase the talent across the US. Hopefully, we would have something like that across the Arab world as well at that scale. Because currently, most of the junior and development programs are local country, or maybe can be a little regional, maybe North Africa, then the GCC, then uh, that that program itself, do you think it was a reason for like that helped you, or a way that helped you get involved and see how golf, the competition, obviously the kids are kids, they try to make it fun all the time, and that's how it's supposed to be, but competing against other kids trying to win all those small tournaments they're making, or even pitching or batting, or those driving they're making, do you think that's something needed, let's say, for Arab juniors to develop?
It definitely helps. I mean, there's so many opportunities in the US for youth golf. I mean, just in Virginia, there's 3 different junior golf tours. It's crazy, and that's one thing I kind of noticed coming to the Arab side to play. It's just there's not as much. I mean, you kind of need that to develop the sport and continue. have people continue to play. It would be great to see that in Arab golf. I think it would really help, but especially because if you're a young kid and you don't have something like that and you're just going out and practicing, it's probably not fun. I mean, you got to introduce fun early, in my opinion. That's what really,
Yeah,
like I said,
yeah.
playing PGA Junior, you get a taste of that competition and it's fun. Like you're playing with a partner and it's kind of a scramble. That and the first tee 100% contributed to a lot of my strive for golf and passion for golf. So I think it is necessary.
Very well. So tell us a bit about your experience in golf so far, in terms of results. How did you fare with your competitors in the US at a junior level, obviously until now? You the moments you remember the most, wins, the shiny moments that you can remember in terms of your results.
Yeah. So before high school, I wasn't really competitive at all. I was shooting, 90 in tournaments, but I knew I could if I put in the work. And I think right around when COVID broke out, I was going to the range every day because there was nothing else to do. So I was going to the range every day, chipping every day, putting every day, and then I'd play 9 holes right at sunset and go home. And I loved it, and so I kept doing it. So I, started to see myself get better and better. And my cousin is actually he's a swing coach, so I started talking to him, going to him, and he helped me a lot. And in high school, I was pretty competitive in high school golf and in, tours. And like I said, my dad and uncle made sure I had every opportunity to play, wherever I needed to stay competitive. I remember going to the Dominican Republic to play a golf tournament. And that was kind of the first tournament where I realized like, wow, I can actually compete with a lot of golfers. I shot even the first day, and that was probably my best tournament round at that point. I think I was a freshman in high school, and the next day I had a big lead, but I choked it away and lost. But after that tournament, I was looking back and, I said to myself, I can actually compete at this level, and the win was right there. I could have won. Unfortunate that I didn't, but that's really what opened my eyes to like my own skill. Like I can do this if I really want to. And then I won a couple tournaments in high school, couple school tournaments, junior golf tournaments. We have the U.S. Kids World Championship in Pinehurst, going to that, playing in that. I mean, they're big events for juniors, playing 3 days. When you're 15, that's a lot. So I loved doing that. And, I didn't win as many as like some of my teammates at school. I was never winning a ton, but I thought I was pretty consistent. So that's where I got to school from, just some of those scores. And just like, I feel like you need that one tournament and that Punta Cana Dominican Republic tournament will always be it for me. Like taking that next step and realizing you can compete is so big just from a confidence standpoint. Like, I don't know if I'd still be doing it if it weren't for that. Because before high school, I was just so average, mediocre, not really competing at a high level, but just firing off a 72 is all that it took for me to understand, like, okay, I can actually play. But my junior golf was such a fun experience. Like, looking back, I was so stressed out, thinking like coaches are going to see this. I don't know whether I should play in this tournament because I'm not swinging great right now. But just looking back now that I'm in school, it's like that was some of the best golf because it was just you go wherever, play, your score really doesn't matter, and it was fun. I really enjoyed junior golf.
Very well. And okay, looking to the recent experiences you had and the last year and the Arab Professional Championship this year, How did you find that, and how did you find competition? How did you fare? Do you think you can compete at this tournament? You have a dream, let's say, to go and win it?
I mean, yeah, winning is definitely great. When you win once, that's a feeling you never want to give away. I mean, that's why you play. You want to go win. The Pan Arab was challenging for me personally. I didn't have my best dwell striking tournament, and it's 9 hours ahead of home. So getting there around 3 a.m, and then starting your round at 8 at home, I'm asleep. It's 12 o'clock. So it's challenging in that aspect. I know I can compete. That's not even a question to me. If I play my best golf, I know I can compete and win. It's just overcoming those different challenges. And it's different golf out there. It's the fairways and the greens are very tight. Here, it's pretty fluffy unless you're playing, somewhere where they're mowing it down because there's a professional tournament. It's definitely different. It's different golf. And in Morocco at the professional championship, on holes where I hit the fairway, I was probably under par, but they had that sea fig out there, 5 yards off the fairway. And if you get in that, it's a double, automatic double. And just learning, I guess it's just a course management step up, especially for professional events like that. I mean, sometimes you just gotta take a bogey when you're really like, if I hit the fairway, I'm gonna have a wedge in with the driver. But when the fairway's 20 yards wide, it's not smart. So I got in trouble there multiple times, just losing drives in that thick sea fig. But in the future, like I know I can compete. That's really not been a question to me. When I went to the Asian Games in 2023 in September, I shot 74 the first round, and I walked off the last green feeling good. Like I grinded out a 74, probably middle of the pack, I thought. And 11 under was winning after the first day. And that guy went on to shoot 11 under the next day too. And I missed the cut, and I'm looking at the leaderboard like, this is some real golf here. I mean, you got a guy who's 22 under after 2 days. So after that, I really wanted to start playing more internationally. And so I'm glad I found the Arab Golf Federation, and Musa and Tariq are 2 other Palestinian golfers. I'm glad I found them, and I'm excited for the future.
But we're going to get to discuss that in details in a bit. But I really want to get in a little bit more in this area because, playing, pro tournaments or like the highest level amateur tournaments like regional or even continental tournaments in Asia is very, very, very challenging. From my understanding, I mean, the level of golf in the US is very high compared to the outside world, right? So I would assume that if you're playing tournaments in the US at a higher level, you would face a little bit more challenge in terms of competitors on the golf course. So for you, do you have a coach? Do you follow? How do you? I mean, are you consistently, grinding? Trying to get better, putting in the work because it's obviously. That's what makes the difference. And since you're a Tiger fan, like all of us, Tiger that made us love golf. Tiger was like, everyone can beat him, anyone can beat him, let's say, but no one can beat him in the hard work he puts into the preparation. So how do you do with your preparation, let's say now? Because, for example, going to Morocco and looking at how things would be, in the future when you are actually playing, big tournaments. Oh boy, you have to you have to get ready for those things. So how do you do to get? How do you prepare? What's your routine, in other words, to get you in shape and to improve your level?
So in the US, we have a lot of resources. Like I'm at school now, and we practice every single day, and we work out 2 times a week. Tuesday and Thursday, and that's just with the team. I have to do a little bit more, dealt with some back injuries here and there, so I do a little bit more strengthening of that. But maybe a week leading up to the tournament, 2 weeks leading up to the tournament, that's what you're asking about, like that tournament preparation. So I try not to just go to the range and pound a bunch of balls. I want to make sure my swing is technically very correct. So I'll go see my coach if I'm having any issues. And then a lot of the work I put in pre-tournament is short iron work and wedge work, because for me, it's always been a ball striking thing. If I'm striking the ball well with my irons, I can play at a very high level. And obviously, in Morocco, the driver went a little crazy on me, but usually it's all wedge work and iron work. I really zone in on making sure I'm making solid contact every single time. The ball shape, exactly what I want every time. And I'm very meticulous about it. So I can't go to the range and hit 500 balls. It'll get boring to me. Like, if I'm hitting it well, I'm hitting it well. So I really try to focus on making sure I'm getting, and a lot of it is spin control too. Like, I don't want to hit the ball too high. I don't want to hit it too low. So I'm grinding, just hitting the ball exactly how I want to and how it feels good, because that translates into a ton of confidence when I'm standing over the ball with an iron in my hand. And that's where I score a lot. So that's really what I work on before a tournament. And a lot of times I'll play 18 holes. I'll go walk 18 holes after a short range session, just to make sure I'm taking what I'm practicing to the course.
Right. Very well. In terms of your bag, Zef, what's your strength?
So I play my clubs.
Yeah, I mean, which way is driving, is the irons, putting, short game? Where your strength? What do you think your strength is currently?
Currently short game. I do
Game.
I do a lot of, like I said, wedge work, and like 50 yards and in, I really focus on that a lot. Just because I feel like when I'm striking my wedges well, I strike my irons well. I try to translate that feel. Just because I've grown up an athlete, I'm not as, like, you'll see Bryson breaking it down number to number, like his swing. When he has a wedge, he'll say, I feel, 9 o'clock to 9 o'clock. But I've never been like that. I've never been able to break it down so specifically. So a lot of it's feel for me. So I really try to feel my wedges, and then I move up club to club, and if I feel like my contact's working, then it translates to a lot of confidence on the course. So I feel like my wedge work 50 yards and in, and kind of any shot that I don't have to hit full, I feel so much confidence in like making a good swing, because I put so much work into my 50-yard shots, and that's never a full shot. So it translates for me. A lot of my game is just building off feels, because I've grown up playing so many different sports. I got the athlete feel, so it's kind of my biggest strength.
Yeah, but Bryson and company are different animals, if you can say. Those are like these are another level for you. If I might ask you, what do you average?
My driver, I'm around.
Why I'm asking, because you mentioned that you are an athlete and you have that athlete belt. So
yeah, I've always been pretty long with the driver. Yeah, I've always been pretty long. Right now, I'm probably averaging 300 yards off the tee, maybe 305. And I play a cut. I used to play a big draw. Now I'm playing a cut. I feel like I can control it a little better. I could probably push it out to 310, 315 if I really need to. But like I said, if I'm striking the ball well with my irons, that's where I score. So I got to make sure. And even in Morocco, I did a bad job of it, but making sure I'm in the fairway, because I don't need, 320 every time. It's just, you don't need it. None of the pros are needing that. I mean, you hit the ball 320, you're going to have a wedge in most holes. So just making sure that I'm actually in the fairway, what I need to focus on a little more. But yeah, 305, 310, around there.
Yeah. Okay. In terms of the clubs and the type of the game you're playing, what I realized with time, I mean, I'm not playing, just for the mental game, mentality, the psychology of golf. At some point, looks to me that it has higher, you know, weight in terms of how you're gonna score. Can you win or no? How do you manage that?
So when I was younger, I was horrible with that. I mean, if I make a bogey or a double bogey, it's going to affect the next hole. And I don't want to say I ever worked on it, but I think it comes as a huge step in like maturity within the game. You really have to be like a goldfish and forget. And you hit a bad shot. I like to see it as a new opportunity. That's how I kind of stay level. Is if I miss a green, okay, I can get up and down from here. Like I need to just go get up and down. I try not to think about that iron shot. Okay, maybe I pulled it, or maybe I was a little quick. I try not to think about that, because if you put in the work, you should be able to repeat your swing. So it just doesn't help to think about, you know, the last shot. I try, and I'm not perfect. Sometimes you miss a green with a wedge and you're like, it shouldn't happen, but I try to just think of it as an opportunity, go make a par. Okay, you hit it out of bounds, go make a bogey, go try to make the best double you can make, if that's where you're at. I mean, because when you start trying to do stuff that is not possible, that's where you get those big scores. I don't know if you saw in that tournament Adam played in, someone made like a 13 or a
Yeah,
14 on that bunker
yeah,
going back and forth. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I
yeah.
try
American
not to
Express.
do. After that first one going over, okay, I'm hitting to
Yeah,
the front.
that's me basically when I'm trying to reach the par 5 in 2. Joseph, what are your aspirations in terms of golf? What are, let's say, short?
Short term, this season for school golf, the goal is always go win a national championship. And we have to build off that as a team. We got to go win our conference, and then we got to go put in the work for those 2 weeks and go to the national championship. I think it's obtainable for us. We went last year. I think we placed 11th, but we're a really young team. So my goal as a leader on the team is to just continue helping everyone grow. Even our seniors, if I can do anything to help them grow, that's a goal for me. Just being the best teammate I can be, because once you're out on the course, it's just, you can't help them there. So pushing my teammates to work with me, taking them to the course, taking them to go practice, like, hey, let's go hit some balls. Even though we have an off day, that's how I want to reach our goals as a team. So winning a national championship, winning our conference, those are goals short term. Long term, I don't think I'll ever try to go professional. I don't think that's something I want to do, but keep playing and representing Palestine as long as I can swing the clubs. That's something I definitely want to do long term. And I want us to compete. When my brother's old enough to play, get him playing, and find the future. So whenever I can't play anymore, we're still competing. Like it's good. We're represented now, and we have been for some time, but a little higher of a level representation, it's good. I tell them that all the time. Like, I'm so proud we're represented, but let's go compete. Let's take it to the next level. We have, at least I have the resources to get better for that reason. So along with school, like trying to win a national championship, you have another motivator, like go practice so that you can represent your country on a higher level and actually compete, in the Arab Gulf world. So those are some of my, longer term goals, is to continue to represent well, because I'm representing my family as well as my country. So
That's amazing. That's amazing, Joseph. I moved to the Palestine Arab Gulf in and the whole picture. And let's start with what Adam did in this weekend. He just finished his final round today. It looks like he moved like with the results, making a cut in such a prestigious tournament around the world and getting all this international attention from players, playing with John Ram, playing with Adam Scott, these names we only see them on TV. Basically, we never let in. But how do you think this will change the view of golf in the Arab world and the outside view as well? And what can this do to the?
I think it's pretty big for Arab golfers to see that it is possible to achieve that level of success is, very good, unspeakably good. A lot of it, there's a barrier. There's obviously a barrier. There's not as many resources as, other countries who are building these like super golfers, Rory and Rahm and those types of players. So it's good to see that it's possible. And Adam's doing a very good job showing that. So when you see that, it definitely motivates you to get better and to play. And, with time in the Arab golf world, you will have more players that are at that level. If I'm playing at my best, I would love to go compete at that level. That is, like I said, that's another motivator, like just getting better to be able to represent not only Palestine, but Arab golf, because there is a lot of talent. Going to Morocco, you can see there's a lot of good talent that is harboring in the Arab golf world. It's just getting to that next level like Adam has. It's a big step, but he's doing a very good job in carrying it and representing the Arab golf world very well.
And so let's talk about you and the Palestinian golf in terms of representing Palestine, Joseph. How the opportunity? When did you get the opportunity to represent Palestine? How this come to happen?
So I believe my father met one of the Olympic Committee members in Palestine a long time ago, before I was competitive. So he knew him, and before the Asian Games in 2023, I was asked to play golf because we didn't have any golfers that were linked with the Olympic Committee. So I went to China and played, and that was a fantastic experience. But still, the Arab Golf Federation was not linked with the Olympic Committee. No, we didn't have a real federation like with the RNA or anything like IGF, nothing like that. So, like I said, I didn't even know that there was an Arab Golf Federation and there was all these opportunities to play. So I was just looking forward to the next Asian Games when I could play for Palestine again. And it was an amazing experience being able to represent in the Asian Games when it had never been done before. So that was an amazing experience that I was like, I want to do this again, but I got to wait 4 years. And then Musa reached out. He's out of Chicago. He said that, there's been Arab golfers playing in this Pan Arab Championship for a while. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I'd love to play. And so me and my brother and him played this year. And that's when I kind of found out like there's a lot of opportunities to play and represent. And so now I'm just getting into, figuring out which ones I can make work, while we build, the future of Palestine golf at that level. I love playing at that stage. So it's important to me.
Right. How do you feel about representing Palestine? What does representing Palestine mean to you?
It means the world. I get a chance to represent who I am, who my family is, and all of Palestine who, doesn't get a fair representation in the Western world. you know, there's a lot of stereotypes and just nasty stuff like that that's said. And so it's really important when, especially like in a small space, like my teammates, when they see me go represent Palestine, it means something to them. It means something to my family, my coaches, because it does give me a chance to show like who we really are. Even though it's just golf, it does give me a chance to show that, and that's very important to me.
You're the best in your quest to showcase Palestinian golfers. Personally, not aware really of other Palestinian players that are playing on a high level. Let's say competitions, but we definitely wish to see way more players. Are you aware of any sort of whatever that can make this happen, get more Palestinians, let's say, playing golf?
It's definitely a challenge for Palestine specifically because of politically what is going on. So we have to look other places. Musa and my father are both looking within the United States just to find kids who have a little bit of talent and would like to represent and are from Palestine. And we found a couple. It's hard to find Palestinians in other Arab countries because, you know, when you are asked, hey, do you want to represent Palestine instead of, any other country there who has way more resources, it's hard to say yes. But we're actively looking to build, a real federation for ourselves. And so we can continue to compete at that level and, just build it as a whole. We don't have much. So it's important to find more players and more funding just to get off the ground a little bit and build it up.
All right. We're wishing you all the best, Joseph, and we're here to help as well with anything we can. Everyone would be more than willing, actually, to help in this area. And golf is a game that can change a little bit of at least the mindset. It's a game that until now most people think is for the rich, for people that have money. Unfortunately, that's not the case. You can play golf cheaper in the US, I believe, than going to the gym. Same thing in the UK. Same thing even in Morocco. Same thing. You can with a membership, golf membership. It's really at the same level as a gym membership. In other words, so people are starting to realize that slowly. But as you said, the challenge becomes facilities and the programs to get in there. I mean, not all the Arab countries have enough golf courses, let's say, except a few countries that have plenty of golf courses. That's why most of the talent, most of the players that are shining on the global stage, except you, let's say that. Developed all the way in more. Now he's playing on the Asian Development Tour and on the Asian Tour. Most of them, they needed the help, their families or their relatives, either to develop it either in Europe, in the US, where you get a chance to see the level where the actual competition happen, changing, big time lately. We have, a very strong competition, and I've seen that in the Arab Professional Championship. Every year, the competition becoming stronger and stronger. I remember watching this competition like 6-7 years ago. They were like really, you could get any amateur in your college, and it might even win. But things, we have like the level is really high, and hopefully even in Palestine things move to the in the right direction. Then we see that golf plays the role of something that brings people together in that direction. So hopefully we see that. And how do you see the Arab golf? You haven't you don't I know you don't have like really a lot of experience with them, but you've met Arab players, you've played with Arab players. Do you think that Arab players, generally Arabs, will be able to compete, let's say, at the highest level?
I do. I think it will take a little bit of time because even in the United States, I mean, golf is still growing. Everyone who plays and, PGA professionals and representatives, they're even in the US doing as much as they can to build the game and grow the game. And I think it will just take time in the Arab world to do that. But I think it'll definitely happen. I mean, you can already see with Adam, the abilities are there, the training is there. They can compete at the highest level. And I mean, it's just a little bit of time maybe is all you need. But definitely in the future, I think you will see that.
Well, most of the people I talk with in the podcast here, they really focus on the importance of starting golf with young kids. I'm trying to understand how the collective Arab countries are working in this area, especially with schools. There is not much really involvement with schools, and there are no school programs. Very few examples in some countries, but most of the people are repeating the same thing. It has to start in schools. That makes a difference. That's the difference. Let's say the US has, the UK. Although, on the other hand, I'm giving them the argument, let's say, in, let's say, China or the big, or Thailand, let's say, Thailand, they have really like amazing ladies players that are, the top players in the world in terms of male players. I haven't heard of someone that's known. So it's not, in Thailand, let's say, there are more golf courses than that most probably, I mean, the whole Arab world combined, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe exaggerating, but you don't have that really. You don't see a lot of golfers, let's say, from India. There are quite few, right? Although they have like some big championships. We have in the Arab world like top competition. Let's say the Dubai Desert Classic is an elite event in the world, not only in the Arab world. It's the 36th tournament this year. It started in 1889. Even in Morocco, European Tour are playing there from the 90s tournament. So I would say, you know, is it about time that some Arab players need to show that they can compete? Because I think there is still that mentality of, we don't have good players to compete. Inas won on the ladies European Tour a couple of years ago. She won the Open de France on the ladies European Tour. So we have a winner on the big stage. It's just not a male. Let's say it's a lady, but that doesn't make it any different. She's a Moroccan. She won on the DP World Tour. She played. She went to the qualifying stage, let's say, on the LPGA Tour, and she got her count. She played the year over there. Obviously, it was challenging, difficult for her because of coming back to Morocco. It's not that easy. So it is about time. I think the talent is there. It's just the collective effort to get it there. And guys like you that really come and believe that you can help, you can represent your nation. I would say so. Hopefully we see like I don't think like someone will be winning a major anytime soon, but we'll definitely see guys competing on the big stage.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of it, like you said, like there's not a lot of school translation and crossover. So a lot of it may be when there is a young talent, like Adam, going to play Division I golf, Division II golf, Division III golf in the U.S. will definitely help grow the attention level that they will get. Like right now, Adam is getting an extreme amount of attention because, no one really knew about him. I mean, he went to junior college in the U.S., I think, and then he's committed to Texas Tech, but now he's playing on a global stage competing with professionals. So it's like, wow, we didn't know that, Arab in contention. I believe he came in sixth at another professional event like a month ago, I think, right?
Yeah, it's Saudi International 6.
Yeah. Yeah. And so growing the attention level is really important, because it opens so many opportunities. Like I said, I did not even know the Arab Golf Federation existed, but now, I have all these opportunities to go play and grow it, because when people in the United States find out, oh, he's going over there to play, you never know if there's a young Arab golfer in the U.S. who, like me, had no idea about this, and they're like, oh, well, I can go compete, and then you grow it that way. I think that's really important, just growing people's attention to it, because if you don't know,
Yeah, that's
can't play.
that's one of the other the downsides or challenges, let's say, in the Arab Gulf, are really the visibility of players, especially at a young age. Before you make it, no one will pay attention to you.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's a very an uphill that we have a long way to go to.
Yeah, and like I said, just time.
The future,
Time's all
on
you
the other
need.
hand, yeah. So on the other hand, let's say the future is bright. I would say it's really bright. There are really a lot of talent. Besides Adam, there are really quite few young talents. We have Sophia as well in the US. She's amazing. I believe you've heard of her. I believe you've seen her. She's winning the college as well. So that's and she's a history maker as well. She made the cut on the European Tour as the youngest ever to make a cut on the European Tour. It's gonna be next month as well in Morocco. So the talent is there, and I think it's about time we see Arabs competing on the global stage. Hopefully, it happens soon. Moving on, Joseph, like if you would, let's say, compete and win a tournament, yeah. Let's say you play the the Pan Arab Championship and you win a tournament. What would that mean for you and Palestine in general?
I mean, it would be the first top finish in our history. And it's important. Like I said, we're represented, but now we want to compete. Like, we want to take that next step and compete. So that would be huge for us to kind of let everyone know, like, we're for real. We can play. We just have to grow it a little bit on our Palestinian side, like getting all the resources we can and using them in the right way will be the way to do it. But a win would be, astronomical for us as a federation. Just like I said, we want to compete. So
yeah. All the best. Only hard work would get you anywhere. I mean, we have to do what Tiger said. Hit the 8 hours. No other way to go and win it. So outside of golf, Joseph, what are you passionate about? What are your hobbies? What do you do?
I play a lot of video games, so I love doing that. But outside, like I said, I played everything in high school and middle school. So I love, with my teammates, going to play some basketball, going to play soccer. I love playing sports. I love competing in anything we can find. So I love doing that, playing sports and playing video games. And then school, I have a lot to focus on in school. Just keeping my head in the books and getting done, graduating, and then off to the real world.
Okay.
But yeah,
Very well. In terms of, beside golf, because, at some point golf has to has to disappear a little bit. Otherwise, it becomes a mental issue. There are a lot of things to get, to do and get better at them. But I would say, let's say, in a 19 hole, you work most of the time, I assume, because you have to. The thing. Do How do you structure your food, drinks, water to make keep successful as an athlete?
so that's something I'm just starting to really focus on. When I was a junior golfer, I probably wouldn't eat anything on the course. But, when you come to college and start playing, most of our tournaments are 36 holes on the first day, 36 and 18 the second. So you really have to make sure you're getting the proper fuel. So I eat a lot of bananas on the course because I think those are
Yeah.
great for, it's quick, and then, it gives you that sugar and that energy boost for, 4 to 5 holes when I don't like eating anything else on the course. I hate playing with my stomach feeling full. I don't know. It's just something I've never liked. Like, it's not comfortable to me. So I eat very small amounts of stuff every 3 or 4 holes, and obviously drink a bunch of water. But that's it for me. I need to learn a little bit more about what I can eat on the course that'll keep me locked in and keep me focused for those short stretches, because I don't think of it as like 18 holes. I think of it as just 6 3-holes. And I'll go play 3 holes and then go play 3 holes and then go play 3 holes and just try to score on 3 holes. And then if you don't, you don't. You got 3 more holes. But if you do, then you build off it and go that way. So finding stuff that I can eat to get me through 3 holes and then get me through 3 holes, I think I need to do a little research on, because I've never really paid attention to that, and I think that could be very beneficial. But
Yeah.
for school, we have to walk everywhere. So you kind of, walking 18 holes, 3 times a week, you build up that stamina. It's not detrimental when I don't, but it's definitely going to be beneficial once I figure out a consistent routine for fuel on the course.
I personally never ride the buggy. I always walk. I never ride the buggy. Like, that's my goal. Like, I never go. Although my friends, let's say, they're on the buggy, I'm walking. But I realized later on that food is really important. And you need the fuel to get, because by the 8 and 9, you start realizing that you're too late.
Yeah.
The engine is so you get to the 12th, 14th, and you're like, you lose the round. Joseph, you prefer coffee or tea?
I drink coffee. I try not to before I golf, because I'll get over the ball and my hands will be shaking. But yeah, I like coffee.
Coffee. And in terms of your clubs, who's your favorite? What's your favorite club?
Probably my driver.
Driver.
Yeah. Either
Makes
my
sense.
driver or my 60-degree wedge. Either one.
And do you prefer morning or silent?
What was that?
Morning or afternoon golf?
Morning,
Morning. Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Very well. So we know your favorite golfer is Tiger, I assume. And what's your favorite golf?
Probably TPC Sawgrass. I played that
Wow.
and had a ton of fun. It's challenging, but if you hit it in the right spots, it's a really fun course to. You can't just hit driver and then hit it wedge. You gotta place it, and then, they have, like, on 16, you can't go for that green unless you are super accurate. So you gotta hit it in the right spot, and then you gotta
Yeah.
lay up to the right spot, because that green is all,
Yeah.
mogly. So you gotta, if you're on the wrong tier, you're staring a 3 or 4 putt in the face.
Yeah.
When,
The
a
tournament
normal
is a
course,
month
you
away, I
just,
think.
yeah,
The tournament is
yeah.
a month away, I think. Yeah. That's an amazing course. Yeah. Lucky you. And do you have a hole in one? And how many?
I do. I have 3.
You have 3. You all
3.
guys have. I'm wishing the day when I ask someone this question and he says no. Well done. Very well. Joseph, thank you very much for the time. And
Yeah, of course.
all the best in your quest to make Palestinian golf. As I said, the whole Arab community. So we're here whenever you need anything. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.